just a rope, bro. Nooses in Oakland Park were exercise aids, man says. Oakland's mayor said 5 ropes found hanging from trees in a city park are nooses and racially charged symbols of terror. But a resident said they're merely exercise equipment that he put up there months ago. Mayor Libby Schaaf said Wednesday that a hate crime investigation was underway after a social media post identified a noose at the city's popular Lake Merritt. Police said they searched the area on Tuesday and found 5 ropes attached to trees. The police department provided 5 photographs of those trees, some of which showed knotted ropes, and one appeared to have a piece of plastic pipe attached to the rope hanging from tree limbs. They've been removed by city officials. Victor Sengbe, who is black, told KGO-TV that the ropes were part of a rigging that he and his friends used as part of a larger swing system. He also shared video of the swing in use. Quote, "Out of the dozens and hundreds of thousands of people that walk by, no one has thought that it looked anywhere close to a noose. Folks have used it for exercise. It was a really fun addition to the park that we tried to create," Sengbe said. "It's unfortunate that a genuine gesture of just wanting to have a good time got misinterpreted by something so heinous," he told the station. And this is a very interesting story because yesterday there were all these stories about these nooses up in the park in Oakland, and this is just a sign of how terrible things are, about what's happening in our country now. And it turns out that it was locals just having a good time. I've looked at the ropes. They're just climbing ropes. They didn't look anything like a noose to me. I think that it was a total overreaction. And this is an example of motivated perception. Now, perhaps I'll make a video on that explains it in detail, but essentially that you see what you want to see. And if you're looking for something, you're going to see it in instances where it may not actually be there. That's why you can't always trust your own eyes, because if you're looking for nooses, right? If you're looking for nooses, nooses start appearing everywhere. That's just a psychological thing that happens. So this is interesting. And also, the reporting on this is that yesterday, when everybody was reporting about the nooses, once it gets debunked, or once there's a pretty simple explanation as to what it was, all those same places are not running those same stories. They might have a little follow-up story that's seen by a fraction of the people that saw the original story. That's sad. So you may have noticed that I'm doing several stories in each video right here. And YouTube has a new feature, if you're watching this on YouTube as opposed to other platforms. The bar at the bottom will show you the different chapters, and they will show you where each story is. So, for example, if you don't care for the next story, if you're not interested in it, you can skip to the next one. On my desktop Macintosh, it's very clear where the stories are. There's a little break in the bar, in the progress bar, or whatever it's called. It's a little bit trickier to see on a phone, but in the description, there's time stamps for each story. So, like this next story, if you're not interested in it, you can just click on the story after that, and it'll take you to that point in the video. So, if there's a story you're not interested in, just skip ahead to the next one. And as a reminder, my last story of the day, I always try to pick something positive because things aren't so positive these days. We need something to lift us up. Mexico, India, Ireland, and Norway win seats on UN Security Council. From the New York Times. Diplomats at the United Nations chose Mexico, India, Ireland, and Norway in elections held Wednesday to fill upcoming vacancies on the Security Council, the most powerful authority in the 193-member global organization, which turns 75 years old this October. Canada, which competed in a 3-way race with Norway and Ireland for 2 of the vacancies failed to gain the minimum 128 votes required. Mexico and India ran unopposed for the vacant seats allocated to their geographic regions. Now, a seat on the Security Council is considered a coveted honor in international diplomacy. Council members have a prominent voice on issues of peace and security, including the wars in Syria, Yemen, and Afghanistan, the nuclear weapons harbored by North Korea, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and armed extremist groups like the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. Nonetheless, the Council has been chronically paralyzed over the years by deep divisions, frequently pitted 2 of the permanent members, Russia and China, against the Western counterparts of Britain, France, and the United States. Now, this is interesting to see that the international community, if you will, chose Ireland and Norway over Canada. Now, that would indicate to me that Ireland and Norway will play ball more than Canada will for whatever they're doing internationally. So this shuffling of the Security Council will have implications in the future, and we'll just have to see what happens. Walmart tests a cashierless store to prevent coronavirus spread. This story is from Engadget. Walmart, which is America's biggest source of employment, is cutting cashiers from one of its stores. The company's Fayetteville, Arkansas location is removing not just its clerks, but also the checkout line conveyor belts, according to a local Fox affiliate. Walmart says that this is a strategy to limit human interaction, but could also help customers pay and leave the store faster. If all goes well, the company could expand the concepts to more locations. While it's ideal to limit the human contact during the coronavirus pandemic, large retailers have been hoping to reduce or remove their cashiers for years. Whether this move is truly done in the name of public safety or if it's a way to cut costs isn't clear. It's pretty clear to me. It's pretty clear to me. This is to save money, right? This is to eliminate cashiers. That's a lot less people that Walmart has to pay. More money, more money, more money. Now, I have not been in a Walmart in forever. I think it was my New Year's resolution, 1994. I decided that I'd no longer go there, and I've been okay. I've survived. Now, maybe it's different where you live, but I've survived since then without going into a Walmart. But doing away with all cashiers, this is going to have very interesting consequences, because I can't see you doing away with cashiers but not having security. So are they going to now have to have more security to watch over people? I don't know. I just don't know what the consequences of this will be, but it is going to mean a lot less jobs. Syria's elite face new U.S. sanctions under the Caesar Act. Al Jazeera reports the Trump administration on Wednesday ramped up pressure on Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his inner circle with a load of new economic and travel sanctions for human rights abuses and blocking a settlement of the country's conflict. The State Department and the Treasury said 39 Syrian individuals, including al-Assad and his wife, have been designated for the new sanctions. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said, "The designations represent, quote, the beginning of what will be sustained campaign of economic and political pressure to deny the Assad regime revenue and support its use to wage war and commit mass atrocities against the Syrian people. Anyone doing business with the Assad regime, no matter where in the world they are, is potentially exposed to travel restrictions and financial sanctions," Pompeo said in a statement. Experts say the new sanctions will be a heavy blow to a nation where more than 80% of the people already live in poverty, according to the United Nations. Syrian government officials have called it, quote, economic terrorism. And I would agree with that assessment. It is economic terrorism. I think what is happening in Syria is so terrible, and the media is not focusing on this story because it does not look good, and it does not look good for what the U.S. is doing there. Anyone that goes to investigate the media smears as being anti-American. And I don't know what the solution for this is, but typically these kinds of sanctions don't really hurt the people in charge, the elites there. It hurts the people at the bottom. And I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen in this case as well. Family recreates Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the whole thing. This story is from peewee.com. That's right. A kid named Roosevelt wanted to recreate Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the entire movie, so he did, with his family, while quarantined. Introducing Roosevelt's Big Adventure. Now, I'll leave a link to this video. It's really cute. The family reenacts the entire movie, and it's a lot of fun. Now, is it the best production? Clearly not. This is something fun that a family did, but I think it's a hoot. I think that it is worth your time. You'll feel better, I think, upon watching this little film that they made, and it may encourage you to make a film as well. I'm inspired. And let me know what you think about any of these stories in the comments. Have an awesome day. Peace. And on a side note, I'd really appreciate your help. If you like my videos, can you please share it with a friend? Thanks.